This is the story of a big idea that took too long, leading to abandonment of the piece for a year, realisation that my work had a critical mistake in it that would require a redo, thus creating more pain, and concluding with a ray of hope in the form of another project with the same technique. I hate having an unfinished piece sitting there in my journal, but I'm so happy with what I came up with instead. I'll just have to learn to live with it. I'm Ruby from the Useful Journal. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel for an endless list of washi tape ideas. My grand plan was to create a cross-stitch design with washi tape. At the time, I was doing a month of washi tape ideas, producing 30 different ways to use washi tape, and this was to be one of the ways. I had a medieval theme, so decided to find a dragon pattern and bought a cross-stitch pattern. It turns out that the difficulty in doing this pattern was the constant changing of colours and having to check my key to work out which colour was next. After a while, I also regretted the choice to combine multiple squares of the same colour into larger pieces. I put off finishing this design for a whole year, and when I pulled it out to finish it this week, I realised that I'd somehow assigned the wrong colour to a symbol, and this meant a light colour was next to the purple when it should have been a darker orange. Enough was enough, and I decided to abandon this picture, but thought I'd find a simple cross-stitch design to see if the technique itself was worth pursuing. I found this tile design and thought that with only 3 colours and a geometric pattern, I might finish it quickly. The first step was to choose 3 colours. I went with the ones in the design. Using a cutting board, I stuck down the 3 colours of washi and used a ruler and X-Acto knife to cut 2mm strips along the length of the washi. I couldn't be bothered measuring along the tape for the other side of the square, so I guesstimated the 2mm distance across the tape. My cutting wasn't super accurate, so my squares weren't exactly square, but as you'll see, I was able to make it work. The best thing about this pattern was that I was able to do strips or sections of colour without having to constantly check the pattern. For instance, I knew that I needed to do a row of greys or that I needed to build red in a corner, and that meant that I didn't have to keep going back to my pattern to check the key and then work out what colour went with that key. I love how this turned out, and it has resurrected some of my initial interest in the idea of doing a mosaic. Something else I've realised about the original dragon pattern is that, like many cross-stitch designs, once you've finished the crosses, there is actually additional stitching required to complete the picture. The dragon has stitching for the outline of the wings, the eyes and the mouth and other little details. The washi tape squares aren't going to show this detail, so if I had completed this pattern, I would have had to come up with some way to include those lines. If you don't like fiddly techniques that take a long time and lots of concentration, forget it. Especially if you do it with 2mm squares like I did. But if you like cross-stitch patterns and the grading of colours you can achieve, and I really think it looks amazing with this geometric design, give it a go. This design looks even better from a distance than close up because you stop seeing the individual squares and spaces and focus instead on the pattern. Please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, check out some of my other videos, and I will see you again soon.